I got what you want. Give me all of your love, 'cause it's burning hot. It's what you do to me, babe, I can guarantee. Honey, I got what you need. Under the night sky, I want your eyes all on me. Don't tell me lies now, I always get mine. Don't play with me. Do you want it? Can you feel me? Can you handle it? Right? Do you want it? Don't put your love on hold. I can't take it anymore. Oh, put your love on me now. Trust me and you will see. Oh, honey, I got what you want. Honey, I got what you need. Honey, I got what you want. Honey, I got what you need. Give me your love, no holding back, no. We could take it to the stars where you wanna go. The things that we can do, don't need to prove you know. Honey, I got what you want. Yeah, under the night sky, I want your eyes all on me. Don't tell me no lies, I always get mine. Don't play with me. So do you want it? Do you want it? Can you feel me? Can you feel me now? Can you handle it? Alright. So do you want it? Don't put your love on hold. I can't take it anymore. Oh, put your love on me now. Trust me and you will see. Oh, honey, I got what you want. Honey, I got what you need. Honey, I got what you want. Honey, I got what you need. So don't put your love on hold. Can you feel me? I can't take it anymore. Don't put your love on me. Trust me and you will see. Honey, I got what you want. Honey, I got what you need. Honey, I got what you want. Honey, I got what you want, got what you need now.
Isn't this a good life? Sitting on the front porch, sipping on the rocks. Citrus in our beverages. Citrus in our beverages. Show only the good sides. Always pretty smiles are covering our faces. You know it is all lies. You know it is all lies. On and on it goes. Round and round the rodeo. Breathing out air for a minute. Taking my time to begin with. On and on it goes. Swinging down in life, you know. Breathing out air for a minute. Yeah. Hey, would you rather stay right here? Make everything disappear. Keep playing my favorite song. Put your rose-colored glasses on. What if we stay right here? Make everything disappear. Lay low in the beaching sun. Put your rose-colored glasses on. Yeah. Put your rose-colored glasses on. Yeah. Isn't it a big crime to get a little lost in everybody's business? Why don't we all calm down? Why don't we all calm down? I think I'm the wrong size. Not enough room for everybody's egos. Why don't we all calm down?
Well, hello, creators. We're going to do things a little different today. I will go back up to the studio for Q&A later, but I thought we'd have a little fireside chat by the fire that I do not have. But we can pretend. So this is not a perfect setup, but I actually had an idea, and it was too late to set up for the couch cam. I haven't been using one of my cameras very much, so I'm actually going to change that camera into the couch camera and get properly set up for that for the next time. Launchpad says, "Oh, this is nice." Cozy Mike says, "Love that setup." It's not perfect lighting or audio, but it was a quick setup once I had the idea. I was like, wait, hold on. So, we are going to talk. We've got to talk. The pillow looks like a what? Hold on. The red pillow is the fire. There you go. There we go. This is the best anti-burnout setup. Sometimes you just got to switch things up, don't you? I'm glad you guys like it. I was like, are they going to be freaking out that I'm not where I usually am? Glad you went with your feelings. Love this fireside chat idea. So, yeah, I think, today I just want to have a heart-to-heart. Is that okay with you? Can we have a little heart-to-heart and some real talk? It's very common for creators to feel a sense of burnout. And this is something that people don't talk about a lot. Like, we know that it exists, but people don't really share the details of the burnout. And I thought today I would, and really talk to you, be open about this discussion. I think it's a dangerous place to be for us all as creators to not allow ourselves to go there and to try and be perfect all the time. There is no one in the entire world who hasn't experienced some kind of drain creating content. There is a solution, and I'm going to talk about that as well. And I think that that's a really important piece of this discussion, that there are things that you can do to avoid burnout, at least in letting it get you to a bad place or ruin the things that you've been trying to build, right? And I saw during the pre-show so many people saying, this is the topic I need. I've just been through burnout. Yes, like sharing your stories. And I would invite you today in this beautiful fireside chat for you to go there yourself, right? When we can share our own stories and when we can just be vulnerable with each other, I think it helps us all as a creator community. We had a poll going, have you felt burnout before? Yes, the worst. 78% of you have experienced burnout. So that's a huge percentage. And I noticed that some of the people who say they haven't, not yet, because they haven't gotten started or they're just getting started. And the getting started is like the most exciting part, right? Launchpad, Christian, I'm burnt out at the moment. Christian, please hang out with me today. Let's talk through that. Bring your stories, bring your vulnerability and your emotions, and that's what I want us to be, is a safe place. Our private student area is definitely that, but I also think that it's really important out in public to just be a safe place to experience those emotions together and know that we're not alone, right? We are not alone. There's the perfect Instagram perfect kind of philosophy out there, and the attempt at sharing the highlight reel, all the things that are beautiful and great about what we experience as creators, and that's great. And also, I think that there's a benefit to being positive through the burnout, right? I'm always a positive person. I look at challenges as opportunities, and burnout is just one of those challenges. And it is an opportunity. It's an opportunity to look at what's not working for you and get to a place that can work better. We go through these stages of growth. Each and every one of us go through these stages and phases of growth. And at each level up, you do start to experience a little bit of like, something isn't working anymore, right? And it's time at that point to actually say, all right, let's take a step back. Let's reevaluate what isn't working and how can we shape our channels? How can we shape the business behind the channels in a way that works for us going forward? And that's an okay place to be. So while burnout is exhausting and it's an emotional place to be, it can really be a beautiful opportunity for us to set ourselves up for success for the next thing, for the next piece of our journey. And we are always going through different phases of our journey. Okay, so let me share a little bit of my story. I've been doing this for 17 years. I've experienced burnout many times throughout that journey. But I'm going to kind of focus on a couple of moments in time. 2015. I experienced burnout big time. And I was exhausted. I had started when I was early 20s, starting this content creation journey. And I'd been going for 10 years and I had hit my 30s and I was like, I can't, I'm the same person I was 10 years ago. I need to change. Like, we as human beings have to change over the years, right? We have to grow up. And let me know if that resonates with you. And sometimes when we're out in public, and our version of public on camera, out on YouTube, in Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, it is challenging to grow up, right? And so I did it wrong in 2015. I definitely kind of blew up, right? I felt this massive burnout. I was tired. I was weary. I had been doing the same thing for 10 years, and I was feeling this need to burst out of my bubble. And at that moment, I was maybe a little too young to realize what I was doing, but I blew everything up. I changed my name from an alias to my real name. I stopped the channel. I went somewhere else. Like, I just blew everything up. And that was very harmful. And I'm very glad in the end. Today, I look back at it, and as embarrassed as I was by that story for so many years, because I did it wrong. I did it incorrectly in a way that harmed me and Dave Peterson, Paul Dixon, the people who were working with me. And at that time, it took me a long time to kind of get over the embarrassment or the sense of failure. And I look back at it now and I think, wow, that was a really great opportunity. That was incredible to say I was able to come back from that, right? I dug my heels in and I came back from it, and I had to start from scratch. And I'm glad that I had that experience because it allows me to see where you are starting as well, right? I've had to start from scratch a couple of times. And that's a beautiful, beneficial experience for me to say, okay, we started from scratch again. I blew everything up. We got there and we grew. And I'll tell you where we grew to at the end of 2022 here in just a second. And yeah, exactly, Mike. If you learned something, was it really wrong? And that's where I finally came to the resolution of like, all right, that it was done, in a way that I wouldn't have liked. I would have liked a different outcome, but it was what it was. And it's serving me well today because I can relate to the things that you're experiencing starting from scratch right here and now as well, right? And so, yes, Renee, we're just chatting. We're in just chat form. We've got the fireside chat. Apparently, this is my fire. Life is too much fun to take yourself serious. Loosen up and enjoy this thing. Exactly. Totally. Right. And I love my world. I love the content creation. I have fun every time I do it, except for when I hit burnout. Right. But so, I think that most people don't actually come back from burnout. And that's a really important piece to realize about this whole conversation. And again, I've got a solution. We know how to come back from burnout. And this time around in 2022, I hit major burnout. It was coming out of a couple of years of very heavy emotional transition, a lot of trauma, emotional trauma, business trauma. The people in my team, they experienced it as well as I did, and we were all kind of exhausted. And we spent 2022 really resetting the business, renewing everything, and that felt great. On our product line, on the services that we offer, and in our content as well. However, you would have noticed I didn't really post all that much in 2022 on YouTube, and our channel definitely took a hit for it. However, it didn't take as much of a hit as I thought it would. And this is a really important piece of this, right? I think that there's transitional periods that you go through that do lead to this burnout. And I actually didn't realize I was in burnout mode until the end of the year, because I was just in go mode. I was like, let's do this thing, let's build this thing. And while I didn't create a lot of content, I was very active and excited about a lot of the back end stuff that I was doing. But when it came to content, I remember this one moment, Callie will laugh at this. I remember this one moment we were shooting, and when I shoot my recorded videos for YouTube, Callie and Chris are over here shooting with us, so we get a lot of behind the scenes, we do shorts, we get all of the footage, B-roll that we need, right? So it's a day of shooting when we shoot. And they were over here, and I was like just hanging out. I was like I was not in a bad mood. I was just like not in the mood to shoot, right? And I was feeling very like drained, and I was just like letting Callie and Chris do all the work. That's very abnormal for me, right? I was like, yeah, like just let them do everything. And usually like we're all in it together. And I was just hanging back and watching and just kind of like directing, like, yeah, you guys can do that, blah, 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 whatever. I just felt this sense of drain. And it was at that point that I really realized how burnt out I was. Looking back at that a few days later, I was like, that was bad. That was not me, and I think that's something that you can kind of recognize, right? Is like when you are feeling that. But throughout 2020, I knew I wasn't creating a lot of content, and I knew I didn't have a lot of passion for it, but I thought I was just too busy. I was too focused on other stuff. And it took me a bit to figure out, oh wait, that was burnout. I was totally burned out. And so, it's okay, because like I said, there had been a couple of years of major transition and major shifts in my personal life, in my business life, in all of the things. And I spent I realized I had needed to spend that year kind of closed off. Spent a lot of time in therapy. How many of you are therapy fans? I know I am. Best choice I have ever made in my entire life. But I spent all of 2022 in major therapy, just really working on myself, really honing in on what it was that I needed and wanted from life, and not only life, but business and all of it, right? And so we reset everything, personally, business, all of it. And I'm loving your comments. I'm watching you. Keep these comments coming, because we're gonna tackle all of your stories as well. And I knew I didn't want to make the same mistake that I had made back in 2015. And so that's what I spent the year 2022 doing, is really just making sure that I was not going to blow it up again. I was going to hunker down, and I was going to make it work. And here's the kicker, okay? Like, CK, yes, absolutely. I feel like I need to sit down on the floor too. Everybody get down on the floor. I love sitting on the floor. I'm my daddy's girl. He loved sitting on the floor, standing, walking, whatever. Anyway, so here's the kicker. When it comes to burnout and my 2022, I barely released any videos, and in Q3, we had the biggest revenue quarter we have ever had in this business or any version of my previous businesses. That's huge. Can you say about your own channel, if you were to take a break, if you were to stop creating consistently, would your business grow? Would you be able to make money, or would your revenue start to decline? That is the reason why so many people feel a sense of burnout, that we feel we're on this content treadmill. We've got to create because we don't make money otherwise. Can you give me a yes or a no? Yes, if your business would grow beyond, if your channel, if your business, if you would still make more money than ever before, while not being as consistent with content. Can you give me a yes if that's true, or a no if that revenue would decline and you would be in a bit of a pickle position? I don't know what a pickle position is, but Creator Classroom, I don't think it would grow yet. I love that yet, because there is a solution to this, right? There is a process that we can go through as creators that will allow us to say, all right, I need to take a step back. I'm feeling burnt out on creating, and I can still have success. I can still have a sustainable life in this world. That's a really important thing to be intentional about building. And because of my own experiences, because of my journey, because of the successes and quote unquote failures I've had over the 17 years, I am incredibly passionate about supporting you in doing that and being intentional. I don't want you to see the days of burnout and give up. That's what happens to so many people, and it's so sad because they're so talented. They have a message to share. They have that community that's relying on them. And, you know, in my experience, thank you, Doc, for the pickle position. Thanks. Zane, channel is business. Now, when you say channel is business, what I hear is that most creators build their business in a way that is reliant on the platform, YouTube AdSense, sponsorships, and sponsorships while you're paid by a third party. Sponsorships are very much reliant on you creating content and putting that out on the platform, because where else are sponsorship? I mean, actually, brand deals, if you go a little further than video sponsorship, that actually can be more than just the video content. That's a kind of a different story. But most creator businesses are built on sponsorships and AdSense and maybe YouTube memberships, or whatever version of that is on that platform that you're on, right? And I saw a lot of people saying no, that their business, that they wouldn't continue to create, to have revenue when if they were to take a break, right? And so I think that's a very risky place to be. And so if you could, like, my goal for you is to help you create a sustainable long-term business from your videos. And a lot of people who are creating content don't think of themselves as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as having to build out the infrastructure. And it doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to be complicated. But that's where people go missing, especially in the beginning days. If you can understand it exactly, my foot's falling asleep right now. Anybody else's foot's falling asleep who's sitting here on the floor with me? If you can really get clear on that from the beginning and build with intention, you're going to go so much further. The pressure to produce content intensifies for me, Christian says, which makes me not want to do it. It's not a rational reaction at all. It intensifies with what? Let me know. I've seen some people use burnout as an excuse to not admit failure. Well, I don't think, I mean, maybe you mean something entirely different. I don't think burnout means failure by any means. Like I would buck against that definition. I doubt that's the definition. That's just how I'm reading it. But Paul, you might clarify for me. Inspire Gaming super chat. Thank you so much for the super chat. I don't have the super chat alerts on. I'm sorry. Love your content. Thanks for everything. Thank you for being here. And so that is really what I'm aiming to help you build, is to actually build with intention. So next week, I'm running some free masterclasses. These are just free trainings. Spend a couple of hours with me and dig into understanding what it's going to take for you to be intentional about making money with or without. I mean, obviously you have to have some content, right? You got to be consistent before you can be inconsistent. But, let's build your content business from intention and from the thought of long-term sustainability, so that when you will hit, maybe you won't hit full burnout, but you will hit these moments in time as you grow from phase to phase to phase, where you're saying, you know what, like something isn't working for me anymore. Something in my life has changed. I need to take a break, or I need to shift what it is I'm doing. So join me in the masterclass, please. I would love to see you there. And this just comes from me wanting, like, I've seen too many people just give up because of this stuff. And I think I just want to lean into having this more vulnerable conversation this year with you, so that and you can identify when you're hitting that moment and you don't go too far, right? If you know and you can identify it and you have support in the process of making the shifts and the changes that you need to make it continue to work for you, then you're gonna have so much such a happier existence as a creator. Let's see. Could it be all that it's a waste of time? Absolutely not. Some people may decide it's not for them. But also I think that people decide that when they have a true passion for doing what they're doing, and they're just hitting burnout, so they decide it's not worth it. And if you were to shift your brain and your mindset and the things that you're actually taking action on, then you would have a much different decision at the end of the day. It is worth it when you can have that message being shared and build a community of people who are like-minded with you, and you can put yourself out there and have a bigger impact in the world. I believe that, with every person that we talk to and touch, we have that impact, and it's a rolling effect, because then they're happier or better off in whatever way, and they are going to have that impact on other people as well. So I think it's a really important thing that we stick to it. We just need to stay with intention. So the masterclass itself, that free training coming up, is going to actually walk you through the different phases that we all go through. It's going to give you the support you need to know what it is you need to focus on so that you don't hit burnout. One of the biggest problems is focusing on the wrong things at the wrong time, right? You're like in the beginning stages and you're trying to do something that I'm doing 17 years later. We don't need to be doing the same things. You need to be taking the action during the times of your journey that are going to matter most for you in that phase. So I'm going to walk you through that, and I'm going to help guide you and give you the tools that you need to know that you can actually move to the next phase, that you can move to the next piece of your journey with success and without hitting this burnout. And I just, for me, I'll just kind of going from 2022 to 2023, I got real clear on what it was that wasn't working for me, right? And so I got a lot of clarity to help me achieve balance. Like at the end of 2022, I really started working on balance, personal life and business balance. And that's been fairly successful, not where I need to be, but that's what I'm working on in 2023. And I identified the things in the business that aren't not working, in the content that are not working for me to be able to achieve that balance that we all need. How many of you feel like you don't have any work-life balance? Am I alone? Am I alone in that? Please tell me I'm not. Please. And I know I'm not, but that has become as Amy Porterfield calls it, oh shoot, I forgot the word she uses, but it's a non-negotiable. Like balance and my personal life is a non-negotiable this year for me. And so I'm making the choices in the content that I create, in the channel decisions that I have, in the business side of things to shift so that it works for me. Right? And work-life balance, what's that? Far from alone. Good, JV. Angela says, I'm not alone. And so part of my excitement about this year is I'm going to be sharing that journey. I have to move my foot because it's really, really asleep at this point. So I'm going to have to figure something out about this fireside chat position that's not working for me. Balance, I'm a mess, but it's a good mess. Okay, so since I'm not alone, my hand is raised. Since I'm not alone in this, would you enjoy more of, would you like a behind the scenes kind of view in my journey achieving that? The things that I'm doing in the business, in the content, to be able to say, you know what, that is my end goal, and we are going to do these things to shift it, to make it work. Oh, tingly, tingly. Ow. Oh my goodness, Prominik, thank you so much for your super chat. Praying for your highest good and greatest growth. Keep smiling. Your smile is strength. Keep smiling. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Would you like that? I would love to share that journey as I go through it with you. And yeah. Let me know. Let's see. Hold on. I saw a comment up here earlier that I wanted to touch on. Renee says, patterns are tough for me, fall into the same patterns with different people. And while I figure out the personal issues, it took longer to figure out what I was doing over and over again. Yeah. That's me. But I have figured that out, right? And that's what I was saying is I spent 2022 really looking at my patterns and really evaluating the actions I was taking or not taking, and really is really about not taking, right? So that I could craft the life that works for me and that I love. I am moving my foot around. I am. Mike, Mike, mindset shift here. I only have 911 followers, just started live streaming. You just started live streaming and you have 911 followers. That's amazing. Let's shift our mindset. Okay, Mike, if you're not already registered for the masterclass next week, please do, because we're gonna show you how 911 people. Congratulations. That's awesome. You're I don't do live math, but you're very close to hitting that 1K. And that 1K in audience members and subscribers and also revenue. And that is one of the milestones that I talk about in the upcoming training, is that, that's kind of a magic number, because you can start to really monetize on the platforms themselves as well as off platform. But hear me out. If you have an engaged audience and they are showing up and they're commenting and they trust you, you can have 300 people and still make money. It's so possible, right? I like to think of 500 as kind of a base, but I've seen it happen under that at 300 as well. Let's see. Any tips when you feel, okay, Katie asks, any tips when you feel numb and are finding it hard to go live and talk? You know, when you're feeling numb, and that's probably because of something that's happening in your life, and at that stage, right, when you are experiencing, and you all heard me do exactly this, and you have over the years, depending on how long you've followed me, when something is really troubling me, I'll be very vulnerable about that, and I'll be honest. And there's a difference between being vulnerable and drama and negativity. And when you can allow yourself to tell your audience, just show up for them in a vulnerable state and say, you guys, you know what, like, I'm having a real tough time in life right now. And here, you don't even have to explain why. You don't have to explain what. Like, you set those rules of what you share and what you don't. And you can still show up vulnerably. Look at how many people have been commenting on just this topic saying, I'm there too. I've been there. It's exhausting. It's emotional, right? People will connect with you on that human level, Katie. And I would encourage you to, there's you can choose to just push through it, smile, and show up, which I do often. Because I have a value set that says I am going to be there for my audience no matter what. I am going to show up and I'm going to provide what they need, what you all need. I will always be committed to providing that, even if I'm having a really bad day. And there's also that time to be vulnerable with your audience. And that is such a powerful thing for creating a loyal community that will just be there for you and support you. And, it's okay to have a week where you do that. Mike, Lurie showed up even when in pain. Yes. There's one, I learned where my line is this year. At the end of 2022, I learned where my line is of not showing up because I was so sick, and I showed up. I had a 4-hour class a training that I had to do, that I got to do, not had to do, that I got to do. I was so thrilled to do it. And I showed up and I was so sick and I was already kind of hoarse. I was losing my voice, and I showed up and I did it anyway. And then my voice went completely gone. After like 30 minutes later, I had no voice for over a week. And so, that was, I probably should have rescheduled that training looking back at it, but I did it anyway. Cindy, I have surgery on Monday. Good luck with your surgery. And was reluctant to cancel Tuesday's regular live session until a nurse on a live call said, Cindy, trust me, cancel the lesson. Yes. Yes, definitely. Monday to Tuesday, absolutely you should cancel that. There's some times that you should cancel it, just like I should have readjusted my schedule there. Let's see. Inspire, you signed up for the masterclass, but we'll be working. Okay, we have 5 live sessions. I am doing 5 live trainings at different days, different times. So go back to that registration, click the link, and look at the different times. There's I can't guarantee it, but there should be a time in there that you can show up live. I am going to beg you. I'm going to beg you to show up live because it's going to be interactive. It's not just like a stream. It's not just a Zoom meeting. It is an interactive session, and I will be asking you for conversation, for you to take action. So on that masterclass site, there are 5 different times. I want you to choose the best time that's going to be for you to show up live. Do not count on a replay, because these are, and in fact, I'm just going to say it, we're not going to have a replay. Like that's really so important to me that you show up live. So find a time that works for you. Hold on. Okay. I don't know what that means, Callie. What Disney story? Can you give me a little bit more on that one? I'll be happy to share any story, but I don't know what that means. Hold on. I was told to go back and look for a comment. I don't see it. I'm looking for a particular comment, but I don't see it. Christian, what did you say about sponsorships? I would love to see what you said. Oh. Okay. Here's the Disney story. Okay. So Callie and I went down to LA for basically a mastermind. And this is coaching that I do, and I love Molly Mahoney. She has been one of my best friends and mentors. And we went to this mastermind, and she and I was already like kind of burnt out, and I was kind of feeling it, right? But I wasn't being really aware of the fact of really what was going on. And when she asked us to do this exercise during the mastermind, and it was, talking about your history and like the stories that kind of make you who you are. And I'm so good at that. Like, that's just like, it was easy, right? I was just like, blah, blah, blah. Cool, good. That's what I do, is share those stories with you guys. And so I was feeling good. I was like, all right, let's go, keep moving. And then she said, now tell the story of your future. Now write it down. Like, what is your story in the near future or far future? And I started, because I have this existing vision, right, of where I'm going. And I started, and it was feeling so trite. It was feeling so not right. And I broke down. Like, in the mastermind, I kind of broke down. I was like, I felt this wall that I was bumping up against. And this is a good indicator of feeling burnout or feeling that something needs to shift or change. And so I held back as much as I could. But then when Callie and I got to the hotel room, like, I burst out, and I was just crying, and I was like so frustrated. And we discovered kind of what it was that was really not working for me, and where I was hitting the wall when it came to my future. And I will say, there's some really good stuff coming out of that. This year, I think that given your response to this conversation, I think you're really going to like some of the things that I will be telling you about probably next month. I'm not going to tell you right now. You're going to have to wait. But it all starts with the masterclass next week. And we have like 5 dates that you can join. One is on a Saturday. So there should be something you can show up to. Let's start there. And out of that conversation and me bursting into tears and being like, I do that, that whole ordeal, it was an ugly cry. Out of that came some really good, powerful stuff. And I'm setting the foundations right now to be able to share that with you again, hopefully next month. Okay, so Launchpad Christian said, just that I get approached by sponsors, which because like it creates that pressure, which is, you realize is a good thing, but my videos haven't done well lately. So just having an offer in my inbox gives me anxiety that I won't be able to deliver. Okay, Christian, please hit me up. We need to talk. You know me. I've had personal conversations with you, and I would love to just support you in that process. And I think that that's something that you just need a mindset shift on, so let's get you over that, because the sponsor, I get it, because I've been there. My entire business for 10 years was basically built on sponsorships and host endorsements. And it's a volatile place to be, because when your videos aren't performing, it does feel draining and it feels scary. And so, one, you can build a business where your sponsorships are more relationship based as well, right? Like, there are all kinds of ways to go about sponsorships, but they do expect performance, right? And so you've got to have some other things. And this is what I'm talking about. this is why I'm holding this free training next week, because this is the stuff I see so often. And Christian, you're not alone. Like Renee can probably attest to this, right? Like so many people experience that stress of having only sponsorships to rely on, or only YouTube memberships to rely on, or only AdSense. And AdSense is a volatile thing as well, right? Because if videos are performing, you're making bank on AdSense at your channel's level, Christian. And when they're not, or when you tank a video, right? Because we all tank videos. That's just part of it. Some videos perform, some videos don't. AdSense goes down and your reliable income tanks. And that's not an okay place to put ourselves. We don't have to live a volatile experience as creators. We can build that business side of it so that it's sustainable regardless of how your videos are performing. I'm going to say it again. You can have a sustainable and growing business out of your content regardless of if you're putting videos out there consistently for a small period of time, or if they're not performing as they once were. It's YouTube, it's Facebook, it's TikTok. Videos are going to perform differently around different times. And so we cannot, can you tell how passionate I am about this? We cannot allow ourselves to rely solely on those things, AdSense, sponsorships, and on-platform memberships. You've got to choose some other things as well to diversify your income so that you can achieve what I achieved in the end of last year, which was, regardless of having put out very few videos, we had the biggest revenue quarter we have ever had in my entire 17 years of doing this. Hear me on that. Let's do this. Let's create something similar for you, because that is where power comes in, and that's where your lifestyle gets to be balanced. Because of that experience and that growth, I'm able to this year say, I do get to choose balance. I do get to choose my life. And I also get to have a growing business because of the shifts that I'm making in our own business, right? Like that's so freaking important. Is that going to become a gift there? So freaking important. Mel, nice to see you pop in. If YouTube is your meal ticket, what happens when YouTube is down or demonetize you? Exactly. I think that's the kicker, right? Like Molly, who I was talking about before, she relied on Facebook very heavily, right? She never touched YouTube. Actually, she had a channel, but it was not very like focused effort. And so her thing was Facebook. Remember when Facebook went down for like 5 hours, 6 hours, something crazy like that? She had a big event. And right during that time, she had to shift to YouTube. But how would she have let those people know if she hadn't built the infrastructure to allow herself to have connection with that audience and let them know to go to YouTube instead of Facebook? Like that's also a really important piece of this, is knowing that you can talk to your audience. We partner with these platforms, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. We partner with them. Your audience is housed on their platform. And that's great because they help the promotion. They get us the views. We also need to have one-on-one communication with that audience. And so if you're not building that out, you're going to find yourself in trouble. And I'm not a fear monger or anything like that. And I hope it doesn't come across that way. But I do see dangers, and I want to, and I know that there's a positive way to achieve fixing those dangers, and that's what I want to help you do. So who's signed up for the masterclass? Who's going to show up live? Tell me yes in the comments right now. Okay, plan for your retirement. I seriously don't think I'll ever retire, but we'll see. Ron, speaking truth bombs, my membership site sustains a consistent revenue. Yes. Great reminder that I do have that going well. No matter what you're feeling, as long as you're focusing on kind of diversification and thinking through the long-term effect. I think that's one of the biggest things is that creators don't tend to think long term. They're thinking the here and now. What video am I creating today, this week? What am I doing now, right? Like, you've got to start thinking long term. That's one of my biggest strengths as a creator and why I've been doing this for 17 years, even through so many different turmoils and ups and downs. I'm a long-term thinker. Literally from day one when I started doing it, I thought about when I would be retiring age, right? Like, that was the thought process in my mind of like, how can I make this work? It took me a while to figure out. I made a lot of mistakes trying to figure that out, but I got it. I finally got it. And you can get it too. You can do that too. And if you are not a natural long-term thinker, then let me be that for you. Let me be that support to provide that kind of timeline and that guide for at least setting the stage for that so that you can be intentional. I love this topic. Are you having fun? Is this a good topic for you guys? Let's see. Play your cards right, and there might be a tower for you. What? Are you talking to Callie, I hope? Because I have no idea what you're talking about, Paul. But Paul, I just want to say, Paul Burke, because you made me go to the couch. I don't remember. Did you send me to timeout last week or something? I wound up on the couch. That was the whole impetus of like this like fireside chat today. So thank you for sending me to the corner. I don't remember what happened exactly. Let's see. Yes. All right. We've got Ron there. We've got Kathleen there. We've got Mike there. Creator Classroom signed up for the first masterclass. Paul Duncan is going to be there. Fantastic. I see lots of you saying yes, you will be there. Yes, yes, yes. Awesome. A little bit of Japan. I always struggle to say that. Just signed up for the last date. All right. Now, let me say, if you sign up for the last date, please don't clear your calendar now so that you don't get busy and you decide not to show up, because you won't have another chance. So if you it's risky to sign up for the last date. I'll just say that. But if that's the one that works for you, just make sure you show up live. Don't let yourself down. It's not about showing up for me. It is truly about showing up for yourself, for your content, for your channel, and for your business. And Roy says, I will keep going until I am old and gray, and I'm halfway there. I love it. Mike says, nailed it. Yes, I love this scene. Yeah, right? Like, I've got to fix. So I have that prompter camera on the other side that I actually have not used very much. And so I'm actually going to shift that to a permanent this set. And so I got to fix lighting and fix audio and all of that, but that idea came a little too late for me. This is a very supportive group. Yes, I love this group. Yes, you do spy an Elgato Wave 3. I was just like, I pulled out my bike box and I was like, what do I got right now? Ron says, this is the best topic right now. I love this topic. So lots more of this to come. And I will also say, if you're one of those people who love the tech, you will be able to get both from me, this kind of conversation, as well as the tech stuff coming up this year. I will not say anything more about that. I will hint at some cool updates though coming soon. Okay, move your feet. Oh, they're good now. I did move them. Let's see. Thank you for taking care of me, though. I really do appreciate that. Let's see. Why do people? I don't know what that was about. Okay. I think my next live stream needs to be a fireside chat. I'm a big fan of this fireside chat. I feel good. I feel casual. I'm like hanging out. Let's see. The biggest let's see. I saw a question come through. Hold on. I just got to scroll. There's so many comments. I did see AQ in here. I lost it. Anyway. So my curls. Oh, this is so my hair is like in that growth stage, right? Like of like, it doesn't know I don't know what to do with it. It doesn't know what to do. I should probably go get a haircut, but I'm lazy. So I love tech learning, but Lordy, sometimes learning is slow. That's what I say about my journey. Learning was slow. Oh, I love that. Let's see. Okay. So you guys, I just want to say, like, you know, I love having this conversation. Wow. We have spent 50 minutes talking about this. If you are not signed up for the masterclass, definitely do that. That is a completely free training all about, you know, it says on the page, you know, generate $5,000 a month from your videos. Now, I also want to make sure you understand it's really, truly all about this stuff that we've been talking about. Yes, it's about making money. It's mostly about building this sustainable business so that you have the tools to take that $5,000 a month in revenue, in expected revenue. This is a really important piece of it. Expected revenue is not the same as revenue. AdSense can kind of be expected, but not, right? Sponsorships, if you have a long-term contract, can be expected. And also if you don't perform, that can be risky, right? That depends on your contract. Expected revenue means you know where the money is coming from. Expected revenue means you have security in your future. And so once you understand and have the tools to be able to do that, you have the full capability to drive that forward, to double that, to triple it, to quadruple it, whatever your goal is and whatever you would like to see come from your content. And it's really about avoiding this burnout that blows things up, right? Burnout is natural. It happens to all of us. It happens to everybody in life, regardless of whether you're a content creator or not. So there is a reality to it. And you can feel the burnout, identify it early once you know what to do. And you can also still make money even while burnt out if you're building intentionally and if you're building so that you don't rely on unpredictable income. And that's really what I want to see happen for you this year. So yeah, masterclass, very, very important to show up live. Get in there, get registered, and let's have this conversation together. And let's look at that guideline that you need for 2023 so that you have the steps, the stair steps, and you have the tools to know what it is you need to achieve and how you're going to grow from 0 to 5,000. Definitely need to learn how to pay attention to my body and know when it needs to take a break in 2023. So let's make a pact today that that we are going to together as a community. How do we make a pact together? We can't do a blood pact through the internet, but let's make a pact together as a whole community that we are going to find balance this year so that burnout doesn't happen, so that you are building something that allows for balance, that allows for you to pursue the passions in life that you have, to have the family relationship that you desire, that also allows you to have the content and the channel that you desire, and build that bigger community so that you have a bigger impact in the work that you do. So, pact, yes? Martin Shine. Oh, Martin, okay, I see your question and coming to it. Hang tight. Real quick, we're we're not doing a blood pact, but yes, we will. Looks like Callie says this conversation has been awesome today. I love having this conversation. 1000% intentional balance. I already began that, and it's made a huge difference. Me too, right? And I am so surprised that I've actually been able to achieve a little bit, of balance, even through a very busy time at the beginning of this month. And so I'm very proud of myself for that. Okay, Martin, I need to watch the replay of this stream, but what is your thought on collaboration on a channel for combating live stream burnout? So Martin, great question. So there are a couple of things here. So when you do hit burnout, when you watch the replay of this, you'll hear my story of how I didn't release very many videos in 2022 because of burnout. And also we hit a milestone in the business on revenue, the biggest revenue quarter we've ever experienced in 17 years. So there's that. And that's what this masterclass is all about, is building that aspect of it so that you can have burnout, or so that you can take a step back. Let's just call it that. So you can take a step back and still have a stable or growing business. The second part of that is collaboration on your channel so that you can have additional hosts. You actually see that going on right here on this channel as well. If you look through our videos, you'll see other hosts. And I made a decision that I really wanted to give other people this voice on the channel to dive into their passions and to have the conversations and play with the tech that they love as well. And that allows me to focus on the things that I love. And when you're focused on the things that you love, you're able to not have that burnout, right? You're able to either avoid burnout or just have it in a small way that's like a warning sign. Okay, something new needs to happen, right? We're going to have those moments where we say, I'm feeling the need for growth in this area, or I'm feeling the need for change in this area. And that's cool because that means you're growing as a human being. That's exciting. And when you start to feel that burnout, you can say okay, I need to make a shift. And that's what I've been doing. And that's the story that I was sharing today. You can absolutely do that. If you have a co-host, you're likely not going to build out, kind of what you see being built out this year with Live Streaming Pros, which is, several hosts on screen. But if you have a co-host or just a partner on the channel that you can both do videos, that's always a great tool to have. It can be a little tricky because, audiences get very loyal to a single person. But if you do it well, and both of you are kind of fitting the channel persona, or your own personas within that bigger persona, if that makes sense, then that can be a really smart thing to do for yourself. Absolutely. Dean, I'm a course creator. I'm course creator focused right now. Is this masterclass right for me today? Yes. If I understand your question correctly, meaning that you're building out a course, come to the freaking masterclass. Yes, Dean. Everything I know about you, I would say abso-freaking-lutely this masterclass training. It's completely free, so it's just going to be a couple of hours of your time. But you will kind of understand a lot of what you need to do and when you need to do that. So if you're already building out a course, great. If you haven't even thought about that, great. This class is for you. Show up live, commit, clear your calendar, make sure that you're interacting with me, and you'll get way more out of it. I had to take 4 or 5 weeks off for streaming, but because of my health, but I had a co-host join me on the first one back and it went so well. That's awesome. Yeah, your audience already knew them, so that's fantastic. I love that. Fantastic. Okay. You guys, this is, as I said, I love this conversation. Absolutely, Martin. I hope that was helpful. More of this conversation to come. Look for, next week, we're going to have a bit of a mixture of a conversation. We're not going to be live at 10 a.m. next week. It's going to be at 1 p.m. Pacific. So 1 p.m. Pacific, I'm doing live math, 4 p.m. Eastern. Did I do that right? I get so like nervous. So next week, I'm going to actually have a co-host, and we're going to be simulcasting on both this channel and Photo Joseph's channel. And we're going to be talking about tech and also the business aspect of this and kind of looking at how those things fit together for you. So that'll be a great conversation. I'm looking forward to that. So shift your channel or your calendar to show up live next week at 1 p.m. Pacific, and then we'll be back to the normal schedule as well. And ECAMM, hi, we miss you too. I was just thinking about you while I was getting ready this morning, actually. I was blow drying my hair thinking my hair sucks and I need a haircut. And I was also thinking about how I miss hanging out with the ECAMM community. And yeah, we need to do something there. I know we're already talking about it, but I was thinking about that. You love my hair like this? I feel like it's just like is a plop mess. Like it just there. It just doesn't know what it's doing. But I always have a thing about my hair. I mean, let's face it. I think we all do, right? Thank you all for showing up, for being vulnerable with me, and for sharing your own stories. I am going to go back and read anything I missed. I know I missed a ton, but I saw a lot as well. And I'm going to go back and read all of these comments. And I just encourage you to not feel like burnout is a failure. Again, it is an opportunity to make the shifts that you need to make. So if you felt burnout in 2022 or before, if you're feeling burnout right now, please come to this masterclass so that we can have the deeper conversation around providing you a guideline to that long-term sustainable success. And you don't have to worry about what happens to your revenue, what happens to your income when you do hit burnout, or maybe avoiding burnout altogether. So I would love to see you there. And thank you again for just showing up. Thank you for having this fireside chat. I was fully planning to go back to the studio set, but we talked about this for so long because you guys wanted to. So thank you for leading that conversation, and rise like a phoenix. Yes. I love that visual. There's actually a song about that and that I love as well. But anyway, okay, I don't want to like stop talking. I just like want to keep going because I'm having so much fun with you. All right, I will. Oh, that was Doc. ECAMM Live is Doc. You switched accounts on me? Seriously? Trickster. What? Such a trickster. All right, I will see you on the masterclass. Show up live, and then of course I'll see you right back here next Friday. Love you all. So, oh wait, I have to do this awkward. Callie's not here. I have to do this awkward like get up and go into the stream now. So, because I have no Stream Deck buttons over here, so this is gonna be awkward. Everybody, just get with it. Actually, don't go anywhere. We're gonna hit the credits and we're gonna dance this baby out. Thank you so much for our YouTube members for being here, and you guys got YouTube members. You guys got. I think it was already released. You had a funny like outtake from the upcoming episode. I think you guys already have it. If not, then you will get it soon. So a funny blooper from the shoot of the video that's coming up soon. So, all right, I don't want to stop. I love you all so very much. Now, how do we awkwardly get up and do this successfully? Whoop.